Well, Scott, it's an interesting one as Sony expects PS5 sales to decline. No existing major franchise titles before April of 2025. We said a while ago, dude, I said, what do they have to show us this year? You know what do they have to show us? Nothing. Besides Helldivers 2, which everybody's on right now. So that's great.
Yeah,
but, dude, it's February.
Not a whole lot of PlayStation VR either.
Why'd you gotta do that, man? That hurts. That's a stab right in the heart. Andy Robertson over at VGC. Sony says it expects PlayStation 5 hardware sales to gradually decline during its next fiscal year, which runs from April 2024 to March 2025, and confirmed it plans to release no major existing franchise titles during this 12-month period. In the company's financial results for the 3 months ended December 31st, 2023, Sony's gaming division reported another record quarter in terms of revenue, with PS5 sales reaching 54.7 million units. Woo! That is a juggernaut of a unit, I tell you. Man, how do you produce all these units, Scott, and then not give us anything to play?
Yeah, there's a real problem there. I think that's putting the cart before the horse.
Man, but lowered its sales forecast for the year after it fell behind in its lofty hardware target. Sony Interactive Entertainment had set an ambitious sales target of 25 million PlayStation 5s for the year ending in March 24. However, in the last quarter, it sold 8.2 million consoles, bringing the total for the year so far to 16.4 million. The company said it now expects to fall short of its original target by 4 million units, 21 million. Interesting to see this is how it's going. Quote, regarding PS5 hardware, which will enter its 5th year since launch, end quote, said Sony President, COO, and CFO Hiroki Totoki, quote, partially due to entering the latter half of the console cycle. We're aiming to optimize sales with a greater emphasis on balance and profits, so we expect a gradual decline in unit sales from next fiscal year onwards. Regarding its first-party software, we aim to continue to focus on producing high-quality productions and producing live service games. But while major projects are currently under development, we do not plan to release any new major existing franchise titles next fiscal year, like God of War Ragnarok and Marvel Spider-Man 2. End quote. Scott, if you're a Sony fan right now and you're going, what are we playing this year? Dude, I don't know. It's all third party. And that is pretty disappointing as a PlayStation fan, isn't it?
It is, but this is funny because Xbox has come out just at the right time to be pretending to be the good guys once more. If PlayStation won't bring out some new releases, Xbox, well, we're set to learn Xbox's plan to bring big titles over to PlayStation in the meantime, but I'm not sure if this is incredibly concerning other than these laps of games. That is
very
quite concerning.
I think it's concerning.
When it comes to the numbers sold,
well,
I'm thinking, is this quite natural? Being the 5th year of the console life cycle, perhaps that is normal to see the sales decline, unless you have a Nintendo Switch to sell. That seemingly just keeps on going forever. But
seems like
when it comes to the traditional consoles, I think we're into the 5th year. I think that does make sense because now you're losing that fear of missing out. Kind of effect that was driving all the sales, and now it's going to be down to, well, really the software that continues the life cycle,
and which is now a problem for the next year, the next 12 months out of PlayStation. We have nothing, dude. That is a mismanaged lineup right there. As a PlayStation fan, if you only have PlayStation, here's the other side of it, dude. Xbox right now is talking about bringing their games to PlayStation. Why would you do that when PlayStation has nothing for the next year? They have nothing. Here's your opportunity to get some fandom, to get the install base to grow, and to say, hey, we have these massive titles over here. Look, we have Starfield, we have Indiana Jones, we have Avowed, whatever, right? Hellblade 2. Like, here's your chance. Here's Xbox's chance. And yet, they're now in discussion. We're going to find out tomorrow. It's going to be a very interesting podcast over at 3 p.m. We'll be live watching it. And you can make sure you join us over on Twitch and YouTube, Inside the Game Official. And it's interesting to think that for the next 12 months, PlayStation has absolutely nothing. They gave us a state of play, a 40-minute state of play. Not one first-party title in there. Not one. Dude, where's Bluepoint? What are they working on? Where's Ben Studios? Ghost of Tsushima 2 should be in production. Not far enough along, right? Okay, where is the Horizon Monster Hunter-esque title? Like, where are all these games? Well, they're all under development right now. Well, that's great.
Is this where the Last of Us multiplayer could have filled the role and then that perhaps just fell through? But I'm wondering how many things were canceled to leave a kind of opening window like this that's so wide, because 12 months is just incredible. To your point, that is a mismanagement issue. So it makes me wonder how that went on for so long. And really, we are looking at 12 months without a first-party release. Makes me wonder if somebody tried to... They're doing inventory, see what they can kind of push forward. But over the last few years, we've kind of got away from that burnout, that overdrive kind of mentality. And that is a good thing overall.
No, absolutely, right? You don't want to burn out your team. You don't want to have crunch. Crunch is the big thing in the video game industry. I just saw the Naughty Dog Grounded, their documentary on The Last of Us and Last of Us Part 2. Oh, they just don't do crunch anymore. Like, it just doesn't work for the studio, right? We're all getting older. The developers over there are getting older. It's just not in them to do it anymore. It's physically and mentally exhausting. So they can't do it. But okay, but now when you take a look at PlayStation's lineup, dude, nothing for 12 months. A full year of no major hitters coming out of PlayStation? Yeah, of course their sales are going to decline. You got nothing going on. That is a mismanaged lineup. They should have held a game back from last year to put it out this year, right? Maybe you shouldn't have put God of War Valhalla DLC out last year. You should have waited because you have nothing this year. No PlayStation 5 stuff. We have no PSVR 2 content. Like, it is just it's a ghost town.
All those games as service could have been the kind of long-term engagements maybe that would have kind of feathered us through this time zone, but those did not work out. And I agree with Sony kind of pivoting away from that until, actually, I say that, but Helldivers is the one that came out that's massive, that is shaping up to be a games as service that could carry a lot of the core audience through those 12 months. But 12 months to be playing one game, even if it is a banger, it's not enough.
Dude, that's not going to happen. In 6 months, I'm very curious to see where Helldivers 2 is at, right? We talked about it too. Like, where is it next week? Never mind 6 months from now, 3 months from now. Where is it shaped up next week? Are we still playing this game? Or are we on to the next thing? Or are everybody else on to another game, right? There's always something else coming out. Apparently not in the world of PlayStation. Helldivers 2 right now is PlayStation's saving grace. They need to hang on to this thing as long as they possibly can. But fans are hungry, right? You get into that games service model. Dude, Pal World, gone. Their install base, a fraction of the install base now, right? Is Helldivers 2 going to fall into that realm? Hopefully not.
Well, Pal Worlds is much more palatable to the modern, or the majority of audience, but Helldivers is not that way. There's going to be a lot of people that get in, play, get really beat up, and bounce out, and it's just not going to be that game for 12 months.
Yeah, it says here, there's one bright spot in Sony PlayStation's business, namely the record number of 123 million monthly active users on the PlayStation Network. Sony launched a new PS5 Slim model in November. Once the inventory of the launch model has sold out, the Slim console will become the only one available. It is interesting, Scott, but for the next 12 months, dude, PlayStation, nothing. That sucks. Honestly, that really hurts as a PlayStation fan. I knew we weren't going to get another God of War. Completely understand, right? That wrapped up not too long. Absolutely.
It's going to take a majority of a decade to produce.
Spider-Man 2 just came out. Like, all these things just wrapped up. Horizon. I'm like, okay, all your heavy hitters are coming out last year, the year before. Then what was that lead into, right? But then you talk about Bluepoint. What are they working on? We still don't know. Ben Studios. Dude, they have to be working on something. What are they working on? Nobody knows. Okay, now we're getting a live service. We're going to get Concord. Is that this year? I don't know. Nobody knows. Doesn't sound like it, right? Obviously, Marathon's not coming this year out of Destiny. You gotta wonder how long that's been in production for, though. And then you get Fair Games with Jade Raymond and her studio over Haven. How long away is that? Like, we're not getting any of these titles this year at all? You want to get in the games of service market, you have Helldivers 2 holding on right now. But granted, dude, at the end of the day, it's only going to be around for so long until everybody moves on to something else. Time will tell. But time seems pretty empty for the next 12 months for PlayStation.